Hello, and welcome to Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. Today I'm going to be working on bridal theme mock-ups. We're going to be doing two different styles using the same mock-up template. Let's get started. Find out how you can get a copy of the software that I use at the end of this tutorial. This time of year is a popular time for weddings, so I thought that I would make a template or a mock-up for a wedding or a bridal shower as a digital wedding set for you to send out to customers, or if you just are having a wedding for yourself and you want to see what your designs will look like on the different items. I made this one up and included a popular item for weddings, which is a fan, and also they'll have table markers usually and sometimes seat markers. So this is one that I made up and put together pretty quickly earlier today, and I was going to show you how I did this, but using a different design. So I thought I would make a quick mock-up that you could use to make your actual items using a bridal shower or wedding theme that is very easy to make. So first of all, I'm just going to bring up a background that I had on my computer, which is gold metallic. And to find that, all I did was search for gold metallic, high-res gold metallic on Google search. And I'm going to take the color down a bit. I don't want it this rich, so I'm going into color change, which is right here under paint and color effects, color change, and I'm using Microsoft Picture for this one, but I will be making another tutorial showing how to do it in Word as well. So first of all, I drug my metallic background here into the picture, full page in Picture It, and before making my mock-up, I have a page made up with each item that I can use for the mock-up. I have a lot of different items here that I've set up for a mock-up. What I did was I'll drag up this plate that I found on the internet. It's a charger plate, and I'm going to bring up this is a plastic plate mock-up, but I'm going to use this insert for the more expensive plate. So I'll delete that, and I'm just going to use the circle from that one. I'm going to put a shadow around it so you can see the edge of it and kind of give it some dimension. And then water is a popular item that most every party uses. I have also one that I made different fan shapes, and for this one I want to use the hard fan shape with the stick, but I made it so that if you were making a sample for a customer, you can use different options. And for this one, for the square, you can also use it to make a rectangle, and also you can use these for graduations. For the circle, you would also use it to make an oval fan if you wanted to make a fan shape. So I just have some different shapes here that might be the most commonly used, but for this particular project I'm going to use the fan in the heart shape. So I'm going to go back to my background mock-up, and I'm just going to click on the fan and drag the fan into my picture, and I'll resize it a bit, and I'll arrange these after I have all the items in. I want a Hershey bar in because that's a popular one, and also I think that might be it. You could do a can if you wanted a canned soda, but let's stick with the water for this one. And I have a sample here that I put together earlier today very quickly, very easily using these items. And I have here the table marker and the seating marker. And there are two different ways you can do the water labels. Some people like to do them this way so that you see the label all the way around. But for this quick one, I'm just going to use just the front label. So all of these, as you can see, this little item here means that it's joined. It's more than one piece joined or grouped. So I'm going to click that to ungroup, because that way I have access to just the label or the portion that I want to fill with the picture I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to go around to each of these and make sure that I have them open. If you want to resize it, make sure you close it and lock it with that little puzzle piece so that you can resize it and it will stay in proportion. And proportion is extremely important. I like to look at a lot of the items that other people are making in different groups, and many times I see where the pictures are out of proportion, or they're stretched, different ways. It's always good to maintain your proportion. It'll make your items look a lot better. So make sure that you always maintain the correct proportions using the picture. If you need to have a reference, make a copy, a duplicate, and put two pictures on so that you can see how to resize the one picture that you're going to use by looking at the duplicate, so that you're getting your pictures in the same proportion, so because it looks much better, and you'll definitely like how your items look once you make them, if you keep them in the correct proportion. I can't stress that enough. Okay, so now I have a couple of pictures that I looked up on the internet to use. One was this picture of a wedding. I love the way this cake looked, but I did not like the dull background. So using Picture It, I just remade the picture, added a different background, put a different table there, added a shadow, and I like the way this one looks much better. So I used this picture of a park, and I just used the feature in here under special effects, blur and sharpen, and instead of having it sharp, I just blurred it a bit so that the cake could stand out in the foreground, and you can see the full effect here. And then this was just a wooden table that I pulled off of a furniture site and just cut a chunk out of it, turned it on a little of a diagonal, and put it in here so that it would keep the same basic design as this one, but look much better, I think, with the pictures that are behind it. And also, I want to make a circle out of this and put this in different shapes. And this one would, if I had used this one to cut a circle out of, part of my picture of the cake would be cut out. But by extending my scene, I can cut a circle out of this and it'll look perfect in my mock-up. So let's go back to the mock-up. First one I'm going to do is add the cake to this circle. So I click on it so that you can see the little quadrant markers around it, and that shows you that this is the one that we're working with. I'm going to go to cutout and pictures, fill cutout in picture, and I'm going to click on the apple, and then I'm just going to drag this picture that I put together up into that circle. And you can resize it as much as you want. I just want to make sure that all of the edges of my circle are filled in. So I'm going to zoom in a little so I can make sure that all of those areas are filled in. And I'm just going to do all of these with the same picture, just because I want to make this a really short video. But you can change them up. Some of them you could just zoom in. Maybe I'll do that. Some of them you can zoom in on the flowers or do different things to change it up. I'm going to brighten this up a little bit by going to paint and color effect, and this brightness slider or menu button, I'm going to click it up, and it's going to brighten that cake up a bit. So for this fan, maybe I'm going to see how it looks to just bring in the flowers from the design. So once again, I'm going to click on the fan, the heart portion of the fan. I'm going to go to fill out, I'm going to go to cut out in picture, fill cut out in picture, click on the apple, and I'm going to drag the cake here as well. But now I'm going to zoom in and see if I could just get the flowers in there. And you can just play around with it until, I think that works pretty good, until you get just the portion you want. So I'm going to go ahead and click done, and then I'm also going to brighten this one up to make it match the picture next to it. Alright, now for the water, same thing. Let me first ungroup it, and I just want the label. I'm going to go to cut out in picture, cut out of, fill cut out with the picture, click on the picture, and I'm going to bring the cake up, and this time I'll just leave it like it is. I'm just going to move it over a little bit to center, and then I'm going to once again go in and brighten it up a bit so that it matches the plate. Alright, and for the Hershey bar, I'll do the same. I might offset it a little, have the cake on. Actually, I should put Hershey, the word Hershey on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the internet. I'm going to look up Hershey logo. I already have it somewhere on the computer, but hopefully it'll come up faster on here. I like to always put high res in front so that I can get the highest resolution possible, so that it will make my design look the best it absolutely can. So I'm going to click on high res Hershey so that I can, and then I'm going to click on images so that I can get just the name Hershey. Hershey's, high res Hershey's logo. Let's see, let me pull this up, because all I want are the letters. This should work. And now that it's here, I'm going to hit copy, take it back to Microsoft Picture It, make a blank page, paste it to that page. Once again, I'm going to use the cutout in pictures feature, but this time I'm going to choose the first box, which is cutout of picture, and then I'm going to choose by color selection. And I'm going to change this to the number 1 here so that it will just pull out where I am clicking. Otherwise, sometimes it will pull out more than you want it. So, and I'm just going to drag across just the areas of color that I want. Here's a little area. And the areas that you highlight will turn pink, this fuchsia pink, so you'll know exactly what it is that you're cutting out of the picture. And the longer you make your lines, sometimes it'll pick up a little too much, so you just have to be kind of careful as to how long you make your lines when you're cutting out of the picture by color. You want to make sure you get all of the areas that you're trying to include in the cutout. There we go. Let's see how that looks. Alright, I think that'll work. I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Alright, so now I'm going to go back to what I was working on. I don't quite know if I like that so much, but I'll leave it there for now. So I'm going to bring the Hershey up, just the word Hershey. Bring it up into my Hershey bar picture here. I'm going to resize it. And then you could either leave that background white, change it to gold or some other color, and you could just change the Hershey. And then I could either click on the background and go to cutout in pictures, fill cutout with picture, and drag up the cake into the background like this, or I could take the Hershey's, the word Hershey's, go to cut out in picture, fill cut out a picture, and I can drag the picture up into the Hershey bar. And I think I like that better. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Then I'm going to put a shadow around that by going to Special Effects, Shadow. I think I'm going to put a drop down shadow on it, and then I'm going to just move it over so that it's kind of making those letters stand out a little bit more. So I like how that looks. And now we can add some text. So I'm going to go here to text, add a text box, and let's say Jade's bridal shower. So I'm going to zoom into my plate a little bit, and I'm going to change this text color to white. Resize it a bit so that it has room to so I still have room to add bridal shower. And then I'm going to make a new text box, and it's automatically going to be in my color. I'll say bridal shower. And the fans are good because you can put the menu on the back. I made one for my own wedding, and I put the program on the front for the wedding, and on the back I put the little program that you follow for the reception. Or you could put the program on the front of the fan and your bridal party on the back. You can do different things. Anything you want to put on that fan, you can use it as your program, or you can just use it for your reception. And for the bridal shower, you can use it for the menu, the backside for the menu. So now that's looking great. Jade's bridal shower. I can make the bridal shower a little smaller even, and I can even curve it. To curve it, you hit right click, edit text. You're going to go to apply special effects, bend text, and they have some that are pre-bent, and they have some that are pre-bent that you can use, or you can use the up down arrows or the slider to make it as bent or as curvy as you'd like. So I think that one looks okay, so I'll stick with that one. And I'm going to hit done and done and done one more time. Okay, and for this one you could do the same thing with Jade's bridal shower, but this time we can make it black so it'll stand out, or we can highlight the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and put it here, and we can leave it white, and we can highlight the edge with another color. So to highlight the edge, we just copied the word Jade or the name Jade and pasted it here, and then I'm going to go to Edge Effect, highlight edge, and we can highlight that any color we want. It defaults to red, but all you have to do is click on customize the edge, and you can change it to any color you want. You can hit on more colors, and then you can use the dropper to pull colors directly out of the cake that's next to it. We could do it in gold and kind of darken it a bit so it stands out more. I kind of like that, keeping with the color theme. or I can leave it brighter. Let's see, let me try leaving it a little brighter, and then we can put a shadow behind it that will make it stand out. So I'm going to go ahead and use this jade with the highlighted edge, and I'm going to hit copy and paste, and that way it will already have everything around it, and I don't have to add the gold edge. So I'm going to move jade up a bit, and I'm going to change this to say bridal shower. You can add the date on there if you want. However you want to do it, you can just be creative with it. So I have Jade's bridal shower. Now I'm going to group the two text boxes together so that I can give them the same shadow. So I just go to one edge, and I'm not going to go all the way to the fan because then it would include the fan. I just want to put the shadow around the Jade and bridal shower. So I'm going to drag over until I have Jade and bridal shower. You'll see the marks around it, the different little quadrant markers. And I'm not going to hit the button yet. I'm not going to group them because I want to put a double shadow on to make sure that they stand out. So I'm going to go to special effects, shadow, and I'm going to put a little shadow behind it, and I'm going to pull it out a little bit just so it stands out some. I'm going to hit done. Now when I hit lock it, I can put an additional shadow around them, and it'll keep that shadow and make them stand out that much more. So now I'm going to go back in, and I'm going to hit shadow again, and this time, as you can see, it made it darker so it stands out even more, and I'm going to bring that up a bit so that it will completely stand out on the fan. Take it in just a little bit. There. So now we have Jade's bridal shower there. We can do the same thing over here. We can copy this. Copy and paste. Jade's bridal shower. Or we can just put Jade. Maybe I'll just do that. Now you can also add the person's picture. You can do whatever you'd like. We could just put bridal shower here. Maybe that would make more sense. Bridal shower. And I'll bend it a little bit. And just resize it. Put it right there. And just that quickly, you'd have a set. I'm going to go ahead and enlarge the Hershey, since it's going to be the coloring on there. I'll bring it down some, and then we can add Jade's bridal shower right in the Hershey text, the Hershey bar. And what I normally do is I just set it up like it's kind of sitting on the Hershey sign, and then we can also put the date on there. So I text, I change to a different font, Arial, and let's just say it's September 30th, 2022. 2021. I'm going to make it like italicized. Take the boldness off so it'll be a little thinner, and just add the date right there. Alright, see what it look better centered. I think I like it better offset. Raised a little bit. So let's add in chip bags. A lot of people are also doing chips for weddings now. So we can add a chip bag here. I'm going to go ahead and group all of these items with their backgrounds. So that I can resize them and make them look much neater on the page. Oops, didn't get the Hershey. There we go. I could have cropped out some of that space, but I was trying to make this pretty quickly, so I didn't go through all that, but you could do that. And move some of these around. Make room for chips. So I'm going to pull up 2 of the chip bags so that we have a front and a back. Take these down a bit in size. There we go. Just going to ungroup them. And then for the edges, I'm going to change the tint of the edges by going to correct tint. And I think I'll go with the pink. And all you have to do to change the color is to move this little ball around this color wheel until you get to the color you want. And I'm matching the pink. I'm trying to match the pink that's in here. I'll get it as close as I can there, and then I can go into change color and fine tune it by adding in more vibrancy or saturation, or taking it down. I can also add a little brightness. And then I'm going to click on the gold layer and bring up my picture, cut out in picture, fill cut out in picture, and I'm going to drag my picture up into that bag. I think I want to make that front layer a little more transparent so that the cake shows up better. Click on this one. So now I want to change the second one to white. And that's going to be the back. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to go to Paint and Color Effects, fill with a solid color. And then I'll just choose the white from up here. I can choose green for grass. I can choose any of the colors in the cake. And see if I like any of these colors in there. think I'll stick with white. Usually you'll have the little stripe down the back, so I'll make a little white strip to show where that strip would be, to make sure that it shows that that's the back. Put a little shadow on there to give it a little depth. And then I'll add the facts, but just so that you get the full effect of how it looks. I'll add my facts about the person that's being celebrated, and I think I'm going to use my vertical logo. I have my logo made vertically and horizontally so that I can use it on candy bars in the horizontal format, and for chip bags I usually use the vertical. So I'm just going to find it in all of my pictures and drop it on. I think I went too far. There it is. And then I'm just going to drop that on the back of my chip bag. If ever you're using Microsoft Picture It and you drop something on the screen or pull it in and you can no longer interact with the screen, all you have to do is open up any feature, don't make a change, and just close it back out, and you'll be able to move the item again. So that works every time it freezes the picture on screen. I'm going to drag this down a couple of layers so that it will be underneath my chip bag on this side. Pull that up a little. And then I'll put thank you for coming. But I wanted that in the fancy writing, so I'm going to go back and unlock this one so that I can get back to the fancy writing without having to search through all my font. I just right click on it, click edit text, close that back out, and now when I go back to text it will be in that format. And that's also a good way if you forget which font you used, just right click on it, hit edit text, and then it'll show you what font you used. So I'm going to make this say thank you for celebrating with me. Thank you. And resize it and put it on the back of my bag. Then you can add your logo, QR code to this. I think I'll do that so that when they scan, they can instantly go and order. It'll take them instantly to my page. And if you don't know how to do that, there are quite a few videos out there to show you. But if you're interested, I can also make one to show you how to do that. Just let me know in the comments. So I'm just going to pull this in. Once again, you see it's frozen on the screen, so I'm just going to open up any function, hit cancel, and all of a sudden I can move it again. And you can also add UPC, Universal Price Code, the UPC label if you want here, but I'm going to leave it as this. And just like that, you've made a set that you can send to your customer, or you can use it to see how your designs will look for your own wedding. You can change these out quickly I had another picture that I found on the internet, so I'm going to go to that one, see if I can find it. I think it was in this browser, tulips. I'm going to right click, hit copy, go back, make a blank page, drop it here, and I don't want it upside down. I think I want it right side up, so I'm going to go to size and position, rotate, and I'm just going to rotate it so that the flowers are pointing up. Now I'm going to resize this to fill up the page, not to fill up the page because I want to keep it in proportion. And to keep it in proportion and picture it, you just stretch by any of the corners, never by the middle or top or bottom. To keep in proportion, pull it by the corner. So I'm going to go back to that same design. I'm going to go ahead and save this one before I start a new one. Save as, let's see, wedding cake. And I'm saving it in pictured format because now I can change it whenever I want and just give it a new name. One last thing we forgot to do is to put a shadow around our chips so that they don't look so flat. Put that back behind. And I'm going to go ahead and grab both of them, go to Special Effects and Shadow, and you can see it instantly put a shadow there, gives them more dimension. And then I'm going to group them together and give them another shadow that's going to give the top edge and bottom edge a shadow too. So now they stand out more. And we can do the same thing with the Hershey bar. Can add a shadow to it, to that one as well. Alright. And I think I put one around the water. Just give everything a 3D effect. Like it is actually not just a flat picture. And I just try to give them all the same shadow. Just makes it look somewhat better. Alright. So we're going to save this as wedding cake. And now I'm going to change the design to a totally new design just by adding these tulips to the background picture. So I'm going to open all these up again. So I'll have to re-add the shadow once I'm done. So I'm going to open all these up again. And I'll start with this one. Plate again. I'm going to go to Cutout in Pictures. Fill Cutout Picture. And I'll just show you the finished look. That looks good. Do the same thing with the fan. By now you pretty much should have this one down pat. This feature of Picture It. Well, that's kind of pretty. I think I like this one better. And just like that, you have a whole different style. Now we have our completed design, and I'm going to show you how to make this look as if the bag is a cutout. So I'm going to go to Cutout in Picture, add a colored shape, and we're going to use a white heart. this heart here, resize it a bit, drop it right there. And I opened up a picture of some jelly beans, and I'm just going to drag those jelly beans into this heart the same way we did with the plates. And it's going to make it look like it's a cutout bag. Oops. I want cutout in picture, fill with a cutout, fill with a picture, click on the apple, and I'm just going to drag those jelly beans in there and hit done. And you can see it looks like there's a cutout in the bag, and I'm going to put a shadow around that just to make it stand out a little more and make it look that much more like it's a cutout in the bag. I'm going to soften it a little bit. And I think I want to change the color just a little bit so that it matches the pink that we're using. There, that looks better. And if you wanted to, you could put the Jelly Belly symbol on there. On the back, you could put like the Jelly Belly symbol, logo. Here I'm going to add the Jade's Bridal Shower, so I'm going to add text, change it white. I can say Jade's Jelly Beans. I'll say Jade's Jelly Bellies. And then you could, if you wanted to, you could put the Jelly Belly logo. Just Google it, put it on there. Or I can put the heart up a bit, and put it here at the bottom. I'm going to shadow both of these so they'll stand out a little bit more. Not that much shadow, but just enough to make them more visible. And you have a whole new design. I'm going to sharpen that text a little bit there. Now it stands out even more. And just say quickly, you have a new design. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to add my back shadows around the edge of everything again to give everything some dimension. Put these together. Oops, guess I didn't get all of that one. I want to get all those layers, and then I'll get both the bags front and back, drop a shadow on it, pull it out a little bit, and then I'm going to group these and add another shadow that will sharpen or darken the edges. And I'm just going to do that for all of these items. And group them together with their background. And just add a little drop shadow to the side. Oops, I got the wording in there. I just want to keep just the heart and the stick. Actually, oh yeah, it has a shadow on there. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and add that shadow, drop shadow to the side. And I try to make it about the same on all of them. And this one still has a drop shadow, looks like. Gotta remember that Hershey. So just choose it on this side and group it and add a shadow. So you can just find one picture that you like and make a whole theme using that one picture. And you saw how easy it was to change it up to a new picture. Thank you once again. You've been watching Harriet's Custom Computer Art Plus. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Share it with any and everyone. And if you want to be notified as soon as I get new videos up, hit the bell so that you'll be available to see all of my new tutorials. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, on the next tutorial I will show you how to turn your mock-up into the actual items, and I'll also show you how to design custom treat bags to go with your bridal designs or any design. If you're interested in getting a copy of the software that I use to design, please contact me either on Facebook or instant message me, and I will let you know how to get a free copy of the software for just shipping costs.